talked about in the session. So without further ado, I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce to you the people who are in front of us, starting from this side. Sorry. We are going to have a discussion and a talk from a great leader named His Excellency Sigire Adonia. He was the guild president of the great BSU, which is Bishop Stewart University. He's the founder of Live a Dream. I think you've seen a few members looking very nice in those t-shirts. He's a founder and he's a very good communicator and is ready to inspire us today. A senior lecturer here at MUST, and she has been really passionate about the boy child to an extent that she wrote a book titled The Extinction of Mr. Daddy. That's the title, and it really discusses on the challenges we really face, the importance of grooming leaders through the boy children. And you would like to, for your own interest, you would ask yourself, why did a lady write a book about the boy child? And I think it is something interesting, and I think it should bring curiosity in you and get you ready to hear from her. We are going to have Mr. Alan Ahewa, sorry. He's going to be helping us to represent the university psychologist and counselor with a few discussions, and we will get him an opportunity to introduce himself to us, and we get to know him better. So today's event is an important one. You would be asking yourself, why am I here? Why is it that we are talking about the boy child, yet we've been hearing more of the other gender, women empowerment and other things? But there is a reason as why this event is here, to empower us. We've realized that we are lagging behind. We are realizing that there is a change in the dynamics in the world, whereby we are empowering more of the ladies and leaving out the gentlemen, which is going to be chaotic in the future, whereby you're going to have a conflict between an empowered gentleman and a less empowered gentleman and a very empowered lady. So we have to draw a discussion about it, and we get to know about what we're going to be facing in the future and getting ready about it. So at this juncture, I would like to welcome a volunteer to lead us in an opening prayer. Is there anyone called by the Spirit to lead us in an opening prayer? Okay, thank you.
Let's humble ourselves for a word of prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptations, but deliver us from evil. For thy is the kingdom, the power, and the glory are yours, now and forever. Amen.
Thank you very much, our volunteer. I believe we are set to go with the Holy Spirit with us. On the agenda, we are going to have a welcoming remark from the host, who have been very key in the organization of the event. The representative from MPP, which is Mass Peer Project, to come and give us a word. Representative, you are most welcome.
Yes, thank you so much, our today's moderator. Good evening, everyone. Yes, I'm Ronald Aroy Emmanuel, and I serve as the coordinator, Mass Peer Project, and we are the hosts of today. So basically, I want to welcome each and every one of you here And please, yeah, like we always say, feel at home. Yes, this is must. And we present to you the boys' talk. Basically, we are here to discuss matters that affect men. So feel free to interact actively with every one of you here, a colleague, your neighbor that you're seated with. Yeah, such that you can just understand one or two things from here. Otherwise, I wish you the best of today's event. Thank you.
Thanks for the hand clap. Could we add him another hand clap? Okay, thank you MPP for hosting us. We are really grateful for having considered the importance of this event. Yeah, I would like to also welcome the people who have just entered. You're very important to us and we are very grateful that you've considered coming to this place. I'd like to recognize a number of individuals and great men and women who are representing different institutions. Maybe to mention Nyamitanga College of Business Studies. You are most welcome, sir. Makerere University Business School representative. You're very much welcome. Bishop Stewart University. I saw some friends of mine inside. Hand clap, please. You're very much welcome. Then the entire Mbara University of Science and Technology. You are very much welcome. A hand clap to yourselves. Surprisingly, some people haven't clapped for themselves. You people are too bad. Okay, for our visitors and representatives, we are very happy that you've considered the importance of this event. How we really wish that you take this idea to your universities so that it does not stop here, so that it can spread like wildfire and catches the entire nation and eventually the whole globe. So thank you very much for the representation. As I earlier introduced, I'm going to further introduce Mr., not even a Mr., he was a good president of BSU, His Excellency Sigire Adonia, who is a lawyer by the way, a very serious one. And as I told you, he's going to tell us more about Live a Dream. What's about it? So let's join our hands and we welcome His Excellency Sigire Adonia to introduce the theme to us. So you're most welcome.
Thank you so much, moderator. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are you doing? I want to cut off these introductions. When I talk about His Excellency, it seems a very huge thing, but I'm not huge. I am Adonia. Sigire Adonia is my name. I want to first introduce these people. If I don't, I'm likely to. Please, Matthew, Simon, Helen, Myers. So this is a team, part of the team that we operate with for starters. It's a great team. Please. Yes, you need to give me courage. He's called Simon. He has been at MUST. He's Matthew. He has been at MUST. A big lady is Helen. She's been at BSU. And the other team members are also there. Myers has been at MUST, but you know, kokuzaro mwana mwemera. So he's in the world of MUST now visiting friends, but he's around and part of us. Thank you guys for coming, and part of what we are doing is their mind and product. Thank you. Now, I want to first thank you so much for this opportunity. for the boys' talk. When the minister told me that I am a keynote speaker, I've never given a keynote speech. That's why I'm seemingly too humble. I'm failing to get where to start from. So I have completed my Bachelor's of Laws at Bishop Stewart University. Currently, I'm doing my Master's in the same course. And what else? I finished another small course in monitoring and evaluation. I come from Isingiro North, Birere sub-county. That's important for a politician. And I have gone through a number of leadership positions. That is not important for today. But what is most important is, where do I draw the inspiration to talk about the boy child? I think 90% of us here are boys. I haven't started the keynote. How many of us genuinely can tell us that they have had casual discussions with their fathers and maybe uncles? Casually, not interrogation. Hey, bring your report. Why did you perform like this? How many of us have had casual discussions with our parents on casual matters that affect our growth? I have seen 4, 5. How many girls do we have here? We have some girls here. Do you remember the talks you normally have with your mothers in the kitchen and in your boys? Where do you be at that moment? And so, whom do you talk to when you have? Can we think that we don't have those things that affect you as boys? I'm 24 years, too old and too young, not too young, there. But I am in that state. I have statistics here, just for starters. The state of fatherhood in Uganda. Some of you must have seen this at the start of the year. That we have fathers who are not aware of the existence of their children. In Uganda, it is 10%. We have fathers who are aware of the existence of their children, but are not involved in their lives. We have 40%. We have those that have limited involvement in their lives of their children. That's 45%. And those who are actively involved in their lives of their children, surprisingly, it's 5%. 5%. It is the only 5% we saw, the 4 people, 5%. That means this does not lie. This does not lie. What next in 50 years to come? And so, ladies and gentlemen, you will allow me begin my keynote. And where I become too wordy, forgive me, because it is my first time to deliver a keynote about a transformed man. And so we ask our question, or I want us to first listen to this. And this is experimental. I want us to close our eyes and think of the manliest guy that you can, and maybe you want to be, or you would want to be. Chances are high that you think about this physically strong person, very successful, and nearly everything he does, he laughs at the face of the fears and danger and doesn't succumb to these emotions. That is a man that you'd want to be. But is it the man that you are? If you think about the man that you'd want to be, is it the man that you are? The answer, most probably, it will be a no. And now the question is, why is the no coming at that moment? What does it mean to be a man? Being a man does not mean putting on pants. I normally speak hard things. I pray the Spirit convicts me not to. Being a man does not mean putting on pants. For centuries, there have been strict traditional expectations of masculinity. Masculinity is what the society expects from you as a man. And so culturally, has been that expectation. And so that is what a man that society thinks is. You're here, but your father thinks that you must survive somehow. Do you know that somehow? That you must survive. But for a girl, she will call, Daddy, this week I don't have. Hey, money will come. How about you? You have to find your way. That is a societal expectation. The boys are taught that certain behaviors make you more manly, strength, stoicism, and playing the role of provider, protector, and breadwinner. That's what the society takes you to be. Society encourages men and boys to be physical, competitive, assertive, dominant, risk takers, and rewards them for their traits. Boys are told to man up, never show emotion or discuss their feelings, as this is perceived as a sign of weakness. Am I lying? Isn't it what they tell us? The moment you tell your mom, it's like, you are a man. That is what the society perceives of us. I think I'm not lying. That they expect us to be strong. The society expects us to be assertive. The society expects us to be dominant. The society expects us to be a provider, protector. I am a fifth born out of 6. And I follow 3 girls. But when I was growing up, these girls are older than me. They are in high school. I'm in P5. Dad is not in the home. So mom comes and she's the 4th. They tell you, Ashma akurara muto munju. Tuino mushija. P5. Others are older. That's the societal belief of who a man is. Isn't it what the society takes us of? And so it is a perception that a man must be strong, that a man must not show emotions. Let's look at toxic masculinity. Suppressing natural emotions isn't healthy and can lead to toxic masculinity. It means that men feel that they are not permitted to say, I am lonely, or worried, or lacking in confidence, even though these are natural and perfectly normal emotions in life. Trying to conform to a checklist of appropriate traits can bring anxiety, insecurity, and other harmful emotions. The society cannot, when you say, man, me, I am emotionally down, the society cannot understand you. They cannot. The society cannot think that you are as a man, you must feel so. But does it stop you from feeling emotionally down? Then, whom are you going to share with for them to understand you? Remember at the start we said that we have absent fathers in our home, in our lives. We have absent role models. We do not have role models in our lives. Even worse, when feelings such as disappointment, frustration, or grief are suppressed, anger can fill the void. This can lead to chauvinism, sexism, isolation, hypercompetitiveness, dominance, and even violence. That's why you see some boys behave the way they behave, because they are trying to forget what they are fighting from the inside. Never blame a man if he goes to drink and he drinks himself silly. At one point, he does not have whom to share this that is killing him from inside with, and so tries to take away the stress by drinking themselves silly. There is a reason as why some boys behave the way they behave. I don't know whether you get me. There is a reason as why you find that even some boy has decided to be a womanizer, because that's why they feel they can take their stress and it is taken away. But it is just taken away for a moment. But it is because they are fighting from the inside. And now it is the time that we need to come up and understand ourselves. If this generation has not accepted that a man can be emotionally down and needs someone to talk to, then we need to prepare that environment, that in our generation of 50s, we can have boys feel free to come and talk to us. Let us look at the future of masculinity. It is high time that we rethink masculinity. The notion that men must be dominant to command respect is outdated, and unhelpful and stems back to a patriarchal society. This belief of men must be, we have heard women that women are more empowered, and that's why the discussion now comes. We've found women being more confident and better being single mothers than having fathers around. But the question is, don't these kids have their fathers? Some of us here might be having kids that we don't know. Why are those mothers feeling comfortable raising their own kids than your involvement? Am I lying? You become more stressing than the child whom you gave birth to yourself. We are in a very different world to the one which our fathers grew up. That we must appreciate. And we are not appreciating it because your father tells you, nyoweka na akuzire. Your father tells you, but we are here. Times have changed. And so you shouldn't treat your child as how your father is treating you. No. Let's listen to this. Our children's opinion will be influenced by new male role models in the digital world of TikTok, Instagram, and X. How many of us have ever gone on TikTok? We have debaters around. We have, you guys are scientists. If you don't understand from your lecturer, where do you go to get understanding from? Some of you, TikTok is your lecturer. And actually, you understand better. If this lecture does not explain, you go to TikTok and YouTube. Now, this is where I'm saying that our children's opinions will be influenced by the new male role models. Do you know who the role models are? They are TikTok, Instagram, and X. Where do you learn your fashion from? Has your dad ever told you how to tie a tie? Where do you learn it from? You go to TikTok, tying a tie. That's your role model in that. Role models don't need to be professionals. No. Now TikTok is your role model. Girls, you want to learn how to prepare some meals. Even boys here. Where is Matthew? He goes on TikTok how to prepare what? And he follows the steps. Why? Because that person is not in their life physically. Their mother, their father, their sister is lacking. And so we have role models who are on TikTok, who are on Instagram, who are on X. Please don't regret of the bad, what you think are bad manners in society. Don't regret, because you've disappeared in the lives of those you're supposed to nurture. And TikTok is choosing to nurture them. And those are the boys and men that are being raised today. Our fathers are making money. You guys can be possible fathers. You can father someone. But would you be available to them? That's a question for yourself. Fortunately, many new role models are emerging to break down harmful stereotypes, who are helping to teach the next generation of men about the importance of becoming allies and building healthy and positive relationships, being respectful, tolerant, and empathetic. More men than ever involved in caring responsibilities, and whilst this still works to be done, the barriers are slowly being broken down. Now, there is a statement where people say, mostly women, they say that boys will be boys. Why? Boys are known to be badly behaved. When you act funny in your family, I have put it here, they will say, no more jo ashkora. Hey, it is okay, no more jo, no more jo. He must steal the sugar. But if a girl does so, abishtibiba shukari, bamutere. How about a man? No more, boys are boys. They can do that. This is a phrase that our mothers use when they tell them what our brothers have done. Boys are boys. Boys will not just be boys. I want this to stick in your head. That boys will not just be boys, but also future men, husbands, partners, fathers, friends, and leaders. Someone you think that is just a boy right now, and you leave them to grow. They will grow up with the values that you've not put right. And they are going to be fathers, they are going to be leaders, they are going to be husbands. I wonder what husbands these girls will have. If you are going to give birth to a boy, you must prepare him to be a best husband. I want to run away from that because we are not yet husbands. The most important thing is that we must have qualities as individuals, regardless of gender, that we value in society. We must be kind, we must be tolerant, we must be empathetic and respectful. Now, in my keynote speech, this is my last portion. The world may neglect, and if you've not heard the rest, listen to this. The world may neglect, but we Christians, I am a Christian, I believe we are. Some are Muslims, but you also believe. You have Jesus somewhere, we have. So Christians cannot afford to neglect the boy child because we will be denying the very basic of our belief. What is our belief? Our belief is that God created them all, created male and female, and each with a purpose to fulfill, and the man being the head and a core leader. Isn't what the Christianity tells us? Now, listen. Have you noticed how the head is the only part with all the 5 senses? Your head. Your head helps us in hearing, the ears, sight, eyes, smell, the nose, touch, and taste, the tongue. And biblically, or as Christians, we are told that men are heads of that woman or of that family. But remember now here, we have just seen that the head bears all the 5 senses. Using nature already denotes how the boy to be a man is important. A man is not just the physique, but attitude, composure, way of articulating information, and ability to support and protect others. And so if you are just a man without those, the taste, with those, what are they called? The ears and eyes and nose and what? You're just a whole, you're just a being, you're not a man. Because you are raised and naturally brought up to be a leader or a head. And so a head must be complete. It is your role to nurture a head to be complete. Because the feet, maybe the women are other parts of the body. I won't mention. But because men, hopefully you've not heard that. But because men are the head, we must have the qualities to keep up that family. You have to have the qualities to keep up that society. Imagine a head without ears, without eyes, without the nose, without the mouth. Does it become a head? What kind of head are you as an individual now? It's a personal question. I will leave that to you. By destiny, a boy's DNA carries more responsibility, both physically and spiritually, a fact to be reckoned with. Though they may be perceived beneficiaries of the patriarchal society, oftentimes they are subjected to harsh cultural practices and initiations to adulthood, which bear negative effects, considering the harshness and crude way in which they are done. That's my conclusion in this keynote, that as men, the society perceives us differently. But what is the reality now that comes? That oftentimes girls are treasured in our homes, girls are given attention to in our homes. I mentioned it somewhere and they were about to kill me. You go and make your shopping list, and your sister makes a shopping list. If yours has 10 things and has 15 things, they would ask you as a boy, and they would ask her, are these enough? Am I lying? Why do you think it is so? I have a simple question. If you feel that you would want to be a father like your father, please put up your hand. If you feel you would want to be a father like your father, put up your hand. Mine is down. We are not more than 10. You guys are blessed. Clap for them. Not more than 5. You guys are blessed. Why wouldn't you want to be like your father? Why? Please, it's an open discussion question this time round. Yes, what's wrong with your father?
Be like my father is because my father was not specific in that he had 3 wives. So for me, I don't want to take that risk.
Okay. That's why he doesn't want to be like his father. Secondly, you guys, if we don't talk about these things, and it's very normal to talk about these things, can I mention this? That it's hurting. We have all gone through high schools. How many of us have been nurtured to be where we are as men or as boys? Just my school had a system that as boys we are going to get time, and they put us aside. They tell us how a boy feels, how you start erecting, how you start getting feelings, how you should trim your private parts. Were we taught those things? Is it because we don't have the private parts? Okay, I don't want to feel that we are babysitting. But you go to primary schools. I have visited them. You guys have brothers down there. See how those kids are dying. And the only result is now they are gays. Am I lying? You know where they get the role models from? We talked of TikTok. We talked of cartoons. That's why they learn how to dress the way they dress. That's why they learn how to behave the way they behave. That's why they learn. They do not have even anyone to share with. If you to find out why men are committing suicide, right now boys are committing more suicide than girls. Do you know why? Because we do not have anyone to open up to. If I open up to him, I will look like a... If I open up to my father or to my mother will tell, Kunka koryum shiz. You guys, now it is our responsibility, my role and your role, to nurture the society that we want. I was telling this way where I was coming from. One thing that a transformed man must have are the values and morals. What values drive you as an individual? What values? Some of you are here, but the courses you are doing, maybe you are forced to do them. You're coming from the other campus in Chumuro. You're coming here. You meet Myers at Chipira. Myers tells you, guy, tujenda pork. You take that direction. But you forget that you are going to do a coursework here. Pork is more important than coursework. What values drive you as a man? If you are to be a man without values, you are a man without destiny. What values drive you as a man? Are you a man that is easily compromised? It is done. But has anyone ever told you that it's normal? Guys, I am not telling you this. No, I'm just telling you this that you tell your young brothers, because we are losing our societies. Our teachers didn't tell us, our parents did tell us. We must have values, we must have morals. What principles govern you as an individual, even financially as an individual? What morals and values govern you? I just want to, who feels of you that my brother would be the best person if they copied my ways? That my brother would be the best person if they copied my ways I'm living now. Still they are less than 10. Your young brother, if you feel that your young brother should be like you, how many of us have ever sat down and talked to our young brothers about life at campus? Still there are few. Guys, we need, but okay, what do we talk about when we are out there? Now I'm getting more concerned. What do we talk about when we are out there? Minus class. Anyway, class, we don't talk about class when we are out there. Football, he has mentioned. Movies and girls. As a man, you must have a principle. This is what I'm going to mention. That you must be clear on what kind of wife you want to marry. Can I re-echo this? There are 4 dimensions of things you must consider in a woman. Mental dimension, physical dimension, social dimension, and spiritual dimension. A woman who is sober to marry must have the 4. You must consider the 4. What is their mental capacity? It's okay. I want that one with a degree. I want a doctor. It's okay. You must look at what's the mental dimension of the person I'm going to marry. What is the social dimension? Women will come and take away all your friends and tell you all your friends are bad. You must think about the mental dimension, the social dimension of the woman you're going to marry. Thirdly, you must think about the spiritual dimension. No, at the moment, it's okay. The spiritual dimension. If you are a man and you can't pray, that woman must take you somewhere. And lastly, I mentioned the physical dimension. I said lastly, the physical dimension. But now, what is last? What I've mentioned last comes first. How is her physical appearance? Guys, I want to conclude. I've talked about values. I've talked about morals. I want to talk about being a role model. As a man, being a role model. Here, when things of books are not applicable, what kind of man do you want to be? If you're here and you want your kids to grow alone, please, I feel you just move out. That me, I will give birth, and I don't want to know what I've given birth to. You must be a role model. I told these people, these ones, where we were, that you must build a brand for yourself. Okay, I will mention this. If we go to a good function like this one, if we sent for drinking water, what kind of water would they bring? What's it? He mentioned, what kind of water would they bring? They would bring Renzori. If you said we want to make calls to 1,000 people, what kind of thing would you use? MTN, Airtel, the other one is what? Leica. Would we use Leica, or to make good calls and good services we go for? You must build a brand as a man. Me, I'm looking for men that have brands. That if I want a man with this character, I will not go out for anyone, but I will search for him because he has set himself apart to be tested and a good man, to be a husband, to be a father, to be a role model even in his family. You must be a man with etiquette and financial discipline. Being a man does not mean that you have 1,000 girls on campus. You know the Equatorial Guinea gentleman? The King Solomon of our generation. That does not describe you as a man. But what describes you as a man are your values. I will re-echo this. Are your values and your morals. Even when you are, I don't want to mention the worst performer, but when you have values and morals, you attract people to yourself. But if you find that you are a man, and the only way to describe you is, well, what do I mention now? Myers, what should I mention? What describes Buddy? Equatorial Guinea. That one is okay. Because he had capacity to pull the ministers. It means that he had a brand on himself. You must be careful as a man. Gentlemen, we are in a world where men must stand out. Other than that, the women will take over this world. Other than that, the women will command and ask you, it is where we are going. Women shall pay dowry. Women shall ask you, it is a worst direction we are taking. Why? We have absent fathers. Fathers are no longer in our lives, but they make money. What would you prefer, money or your presence of your father? You prefer money? Money is important, but you are more important than the money that your father is looking for. And so I don't know the kind of father you want to be. I don't know the kind of man you want to be. But they are going to marry you. Even if you have a first-class degree, I'm not shaken. They are going to marry you. Have values, have morals, have principles as a man. These things we are not talking about academics now. What we were not taught, we need to teach them to others. Give more time to yourself. Please don't break down emotionally. I had a friend, lastly, in high school I have a friend. Dennis must be knowing him and other colleagues of mine. This friend was married to a prostitute. I want to mention the Kajogo. You shouldn't. This boy was in senior 5. He was a first-class material, married to a prostitute. In the small position I was in, we decided to go and we chat this boy. So we went and got him out. So when you got him, his mother is around town. What his mother was doing to pay tuition is selling for him to survive. But long story short, he goes back to that place and drinks himself silly and totally gets married to a prostitute. The school expels him. but they had given him a second chance. When we went to pick him up, he felt he didn't want to talk to anyone. So he got a knife and got 2 knives. We approached him and he said, I don't want anyone near me. Long story short, he gets a call one evening, a phone one evening, calls me, like, Adonia, I want to talk to you. So I went down and found him where he was, but he was drunk and stinking. But I was scared that he was going maybe to kill me. He said, Adonia, please come. When he was there, and I'm here like this distance, he threw away the knives, and he was crying. He sat down. He's like, Adonia, I am tired of myself. What is wrong, my friend? I am tired of myself. I've tried to get out of this place. I cannot. What's wrong? No one is understanding me. No one is understanding, and no one is wanting to listen to me in what I'm going through. Niche. This and this and this and this. The boy who was supposed to score 19 and 20, today he works with catering people. Not because he didn't have the knowledge. That's why I don't talk about your books. You might be wiser than I am, or wiser than even those who got first classes long time ago, but those do not matter. If you die with mental health, you die. And guys, depression is real. Mental health is real. Today, that boy, I attended some party and they were serving. Akana Eziama Soforia, others were serving. He calls my name. He's like, Adonia. The boy was the one that was in that kajogo. I asked him, what's wrong? He told me, Nyowense kantoku. Another one in the secondary school, last term, I met one kid in one of our visits. This kid wrote on a sheet and he told me, I'm in senior 2 so far, I've slept with 5 girls. And I cannot tell this to anyone. What can I do? Another kid told us that I have a maid at home. She uses me every time I go for this holiday. But I cannot open up because they cannot believe what I tell them. What can I do? Guys, boys, your brothers are dying. Can I re-echo this? The people you call your maids at home, they are using your young brothers. Maybe some of us have ever been culprits of such. Can I re-echo? Yes, you might have been a culprit of the same. You're not opening up to anyone. You are a boy here. I will now use a boy because when I use the statement of a man, you feel you are grown up. No, you are a big boy here. You're suffering something in your head. You're battling some stress. You cannot open up. Some people are sleeping with some girls they cannot open up because we are going to be judged. Because society perceives us to be strong, but you are just strong physically. You're just strong physically, but inside you're shrinking and dying on a daily. You need to open up and talk to someone because you're going to die and you just live for once. We need transformed men in a society that even when you succeed academically, but we can be proud of you, that you have values, morals, and a brand that we can recommend, that you can be a role model. Thank you so much for an opportunity to share with you, and may God richly bless you.
Thank you very much, our keynote speaker, who is inspired because of his talk. We are very many. So I think we are seeing the importance of today's event. It's really a touching session. I had the epidemiology of how bad we are becoming as men, and it's really touching, and I wouldn't expect you to join the majority of men out there. So it is very important for us to reflect on ourselves and go back transformed. Wisdom becomes wisdom after acquiring knowledge and putting it in practice. We are going to open the panel because of time, and we are going to go through a variety of questions which have caught our attention, and to make sure that you go back home when you are satisfied and happy for having attended such a session. I saw people who have to work on our refreshments, but they're going to start, I think. So I'm going to open the panel up. We are going to discuss a variety of questions. We want to get insights from the panelists about different ideas so that we can know about the challenges we are facing as boys who are becoming men, and we get solutions for them. So allow me to take my seat and I join the panel. So as I earlier said, we are joined with very influential individuals, very great leaders, and people with overwhelming wisdom, as you heard from the keynote speech. I'd like you to join us. Welcome Dr. Imelda Tamwesigire. Dr. Tamwesigire is a senior lecturer here at MUST. She's a passionate lady, an advocate for the boy child, as inclusive, as you are well aware of it. She's an author, a special one, with a thought-provoking book titled Extinction of Mr. Daddy. Some of you are called Baby Daddy back there. This one is called Extinction of Mr. Daddy, and it is a very interesting book highlighting how the society has neglected the boy child and its implication on the fatherhood. So it is a great pleasure to have her on the panel, and I would like to set the stage for her so that she can share with us her insights about the eagerly awaited discussion concerning different spheres concerning the boy child. So the opening question to her, which was written by the majority of you, was how can we, the boys, develop empathy, emotional intelligence, skills that are essential for being nurturing and involved fathers, being that you are very key and very insightful about the topic. Doctor, you're most welcome.
Thank you, moderator. Let me stand and tell you that I'm very happy to be here. Very happy. For the past 10 years, I've been reading about boys and men, attending men events, and lighting small fires for noise for the boy child. And the term, the boys' chimeza, is my term. And I have a boys group here, a boys' chimeza. I think some of you are here. Can you stand up for recognition? So we are lighting small fires. Adonia, listening to you, I am very glad. And don't ask me why I'm interested. I do very many things. I teach, I run a primary school, I run a business, I have brothers. I have seen men become nothing. A man who is very strong and then gradually they drink themselves to death. And my dream is create safe spaces for boys to talk, create noise, and I have made noise because my book has actually sold. I'm writing another one called Masculinity, the masculinity gauge. I have a gauge that measures masculinity. If your masculinity is very low, you are falla. If your masculinity is humble, you get respect. If it is on the extreme side, it is called arrogant masculinity. You are feared. And I'm campaigning for humble masculinity. It will be out in June. That's when I will launch it. So to the question. An emotionally intelligent person is nurtured by someone who is emotionally intelligent. So currently, we nurture academic intelligence. We want 4s, 6, 7, 8 in 8, and no one cares whether you are emotionally intelligent. In our homes, we no longer greet. We don't say thank you, we don't respect. It is money and 8 in what? In 8. Unfortunately, it is the bright boys and girls that are committing suicide because they are not emotionally intelligent. And the problem is home. Us at home, including me, all the parents, we don't care. If you come home with your 4, we are very happy. So emotional intelligence, adversity intelligence are supposed to be learned, and we are not teaching anyone how to do it. So we are actually growing like dogs and cows. We no longer touch anyone. We no longer have time for the children. We no longer have time for you. We have some time for our girls, but we no longer have time for the boys. And the noise I'm making is for your age group to be good dads. Actually, my motto is raising great dads. So if we have emotional intelligence now, your children will do what? Will have emotional intelligence. People asked me, they told me fathers are very busy. And I say, fathers should put the children and the spouses on a timetable. Like the way you have timetable for football, right? Like the way you have timetable for sports, you should put the family on the timetable. You say, every Thursday, 4 o'clock, I'll be with my family. And we are only asking for that. Once a week. Is it difficult for a father to be available once a week, 2 hours? The other one that I act out is, can we all go home to our homes? Those of you who have dads and those dads who are there but not there. Daddy, for us the mothers, we say, Daddy's coming, prepare his tea, his water. Then he comes and everybody is excited. Then they take his bag. Then his phone rings and he walks out. So I told the men, when you are getting home, switch off your phone for 30 minutes. It's enough. We don't need the whole day. But we need to know that daddy cares. And when daddy cares, our emotional well-being and your involvement is respected. I hope I've answered your question.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I believe because of the insights you've put across, I'd like to request you again, as you said, make more noise about some qualities in fathers and males that boys should be exposed to in order to develop a healthy, positive, and a positive view about the fatherhood issue.
Qualities, I think these are for everyone. My first quality is respect. Respect for yourself. If you don't respect yourself, you can't respect the others. So self-respect, self-control, I think Adonia gave a lot of that. Self-respect, self-control. I don't know if I have something else. And the other one that I want to raise there in your qualities, I want us to stop the gender wars. Every time we talk about the boy child, someone says the girl child is doing bad. Yes, but me, I believe things have gone wrong because of fatherlessness. We don't have authority in our homes, so all of us are like, they say if in Runyankore, nyine kaka kubata roho. Adonia, do you know that one? So we have all become frogs because there is no nyineka. Nyineka had authority. For us at our time, it was Tata Ija. So Tata would come and all of you would go in your right places. But now without Tata, no respect, no self-control, nothing has been nurtured. So self-control, respect, to me those are the two. If you have them, you are done.
Thank you very much for the reply. I believe we all have some information we are getting and insights. I would like you to be noting down the different questions which we may be interested in asking, so that at the last point we can be able to put them across. Doctor, there is another concerning question which is very important in our appraising, whereby you realize that some of us grew up, for example, some of us were lucky to have a sister around. You realize with that, in most of the cases, we used to burden them with the responsibility of taking care of the household. So I'd like to ask you another important question, which is how important is it to involve the boys in caregiving and domestic responsibilities from an early age, and what impact could that have on their future roles as fathers? It's another question.
Thank you once again. I actually would like the boys to do all the chores in the home. Not because I want you to do the women thing. I'm actually a traditional person. And I separate roles. I cook, I wash, I clean. But the advantage of doing these chores at home when you are young, it is skills development. It gives you opportunity to have a good attitude to work, to learn how to organize, to make decisions. And I think probably that's why the girl child is overriding the boy. Because for me, when I was 13, they would leave me with my younger siblings. My mother would go to her mother's place. You take care of them, you cook, you organize them, you keep the home clean. So we learn how to multitask. So me, I want boys to get off the TV, learn to cook, something small. Learn to wash, learn to clean, learn how to organize, slash the compound, so that you have skills in your hands. Currently, we have challenges. You ask someone, what skill do you have? They are looking for a job, and they have no skill at all. But they have papers. Where we are going, the things that make money, the service industry. The service industry is not papers. The service industry is you know how to cook, you know how to organize events, you know how to decorate, you know how to type, you know how to do the camera. It is a service industry that is making money. So boys know nothing. They have their documents, but they can't start a business, they can't start anything, because I ask many of them I meet, no manya kukorachi, and he's just angans. But he has papers, so you can't hire them. So me, I want you to go to the kitchen, which you call kitchen, not because I want you to cook, but because I want you to develop survival skills. Skills that will earn you money. Then the other one, when you have those skills, you learn to multitask. You learn to organize. You learn to make decisions. What should I cook first? How should I organize it? Then finally, you stop being vulnerable. Many of you get girlfriends because you can't do an egg for yourself. You marry a prostitute because she's going to cook katogo. Yes. You find yourself in third year, you are living with a girl, you don't love her, but just because she can cook. Just you can't do some rice for yourself, you can't do some small cabbage. Then you get married to this woman who is going to make your life miserable almost throughout your life because she becomes a baby mama. So that's my campaign for skills. Not because I want to make you women. No. Thank you.
Let's join our hands and we thank Dr. Imelda for the wisdom she has given to us. Hello. Who of us can prepare tea? Raise up your hands, we say. Just preparing tea. Who can boil water? I believe you are inspired to really improve on yourselves. She has given us a lot of wisdom, I would say. Let us go, we change. How can you... Let me even ask another question. Who has a girlfriend who can prepare tea again? Who of us has who of us has popcorn right now? Guys, come on. Okay. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you, Doctor, for really inspiring the youth. As you've seen, most of them can't even prepare water. It's very shaming. Yeah, thank you very much. I would like to continue with the panel. I'd like to continue with the panel, welcoming Mr. Ivan Muhewa. Mr. Ivan Muhewa is going to be stepping in to answer a variety of questions which are concerning to us. Mr. Ivan, we would like to ask you to give yourself an introduction. It is a favor today. Give yourself an introduction and we proceed with questions. You're most welcome.
Thank you. I also wish to do this while standing. First and foremost, I wish to thank Mr. Sigire for the core presentation touching the boys' men life. And it is a really spectacular one, and I thank you. And Doctor, thank you for doing well in the responses towards the questions that were posed to you. Well, before long, I perhaps some of you know me, they have seen me somewhere. Our moderator did an introduction, but he may be the one who presented the profile to you wasn't that direct. Well, I work with the legal department, a professional lawyer. Most of you know Timothy Mugumya, and he's my boss. So I'm glad to be here and ready to talk to. Most of them are my age mates, regardless of the levels we are at. They are students, and I am their service provider. I provide legal services to this university, and I'm glad and I love doing that.
Thank you very much for the brief introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to start off with the questions which were brought to us, to Mr. Ivan, before you sit down. Very many people wanted to know, why do you think expressing emotions like sadness, trauma, or even joy, often seen as weakness in traditional masculinity, and how can men overcome this misconception?
Well, thank you. A misconception. I don't know. As you munch on your daddies or popcorns, I don't know. Who understands the word misconception? To me, the way I understand it, misconception is a misunderstanding or wrongly understanding something, or understanding something that has changed the trend. So if the question says, how do you think, why do you think expressing emotions, has been a weakness to traditionally masculinity? It might be a bit absurd or maybe a bracing that I'm talking to scientists, but I believe in your lower levels of education, perhaps from senior 1 to senior 4, you learn about African traditional settings. So in traditional settings, a man, a boy, was regarded as a strong one, a brave one, yeah? A courageous one. Among others, even up to now, in some societies, those issues still ensue towards a man, a boy child. At least I know a boy is not here. If I'm to define a boy is a child. If I define a child by law, is that one below 18. In Ugandan education, we have men, because the youngest joined when he's 19. Is there anyone that joined the university when was 16? Yeah, I believe I was just posing a rhetoric question where the answer was obvious. 19, you are a man. By law, you were regarded as a man. to be a strong one, a courageous one, that you can come here, stay hungry, and remain focused. That's a mischief. It's I don't know. It is not actually acceptable. So, by your question, because of that setting that I can term as traditional norms, cultural norms, I and my fellow brothers have been traumatized by that, what I can term as barbaric in one way, archaic. I mean, in present or in today's setting, we no longer have that thing that you will say a man must be that strong, resilient, to take on whatever comes before him, whatever challenge that comes before him. Those traditional norms have since been vacated. In traditional setting, we used to have our mothers, our grandmothers in the kitchens. There is not actually to happen like the way you see her seated in front here. There is not two. It was actually like a taboo. Sit among men, the way she's here, the way doctor is here, it wasn't hard. So why are we still stuck in the past that a man must be strong and encounter every challenge? That traditional setting, traditional norms, cultural norms, have actually led to this, that a man is strong. You don't have to cry. I believe those who have children here, of course I believe in, some have. They have wives and they have produced the boys. It is still there. That's saying a man doesn't cry. It has led to that emotional trauma. It has led to that sarcastic saying, I can call. And to me, that one, we should maybe see a way of harmonizing with today's setting, today's trend. So, you realize when a man gets a job, a well-paying job, I'm now on the side of joy. They don't express that happiness. That feeling, like a woman will do. Do it today. Choose any of these. Gift them anything, anything. Gift them anything. They will not be excited like a woman will be. Why? Because they have grown up knowing that a man is expectant of anything, negative, positive. They know. So that traditional expectation of a man to encounter anything and everything, it has led to that they don't express their emotions You get? Just the daily happening of death. This is the mortuary tomorrow. Find women, a section of men, holding each other, crying. You'll find men be like, oh, it has happened, it has happened. Yeah. Oh. So, I mean, you'll find men are strong. That has been taken and inherited from the forefathers. So, overcoming it, we have attained education that wasn't attained in 8 years, African traditional setting. It was like the way you see the campfire outside, that our forefathers would gather and chat. They chat, give themselves solutions. But now we have embraced education, we have embraced technology, we have social media, and I believe by embracing the goodness of education, by embracing the goodness of technology, we can overcome that. How? We set up entities that can listen to men. As Doctor was saying, she's embracing boy-child development, boy-child emancipation. We have only cared for girl, child, and women emancipation. And we have forgotten that actually you're nurturing a woman, you're nurturing a girl. Who is going to marry that girl? We are not caring about the next generation. With that, I've talked about the education. I've talked about technology. We break the traditional norms, not in a bad way, but in an advancing way, in a evolving way, that we can break it and enhance development. If we establish those entities and say, please, men, speak up. If it is overwhelming, speak up. My guys, I know you're enjoying your tea, but I know the best example is Mr. Sigire talked about the shopping list. You've heard some organizations talk about like girls are dropping out of school because of their menstrual times. Well, I mean, amongst you, I know that guy or that man may not be here, but you know some people that have dropped out of school because they have failed to cater for the girlfriend. The girlfriend has pressurized them and what. At the end of it all, you have surrendered school fees, the tuition, because you want to keep the girlfriend. I mean, if I'm making that list and you want to reduce it, why do you want all these? Let's reduce. Blah, 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 you've reduced. I mean, I've made this list because at the back of my mind, I know I have a girlfriend at campus. I want to take her to Soho, I take her to Shooters, I take her where. We enjoy, we cut the stress, and we come back to campus and study. Where you cut that? And embrace, because the girl has to shop A, B, C, D up to Z. And for me, I have to stop at ABC. What's that? I mean, we should embrace every gender. The government even has seen it. Gender equality is on. If they have said there is women emancipation, of which it is abused, in my own understanding, it is abused. I mean, even in the abuse of that right, men have found a forced situation to abandon themselves, and at the end of it all, they abandon those they are taking care of. So, we can level the ground. It's high time we leveled the ground and have each one of us at the same footing. Perhaps we shall overcome this situation of men cannot express themselves emotionally. I thank you. I beg to submit.
Thank you very much, Mr. Alan. Thank you for the hand claps too. Mr. Alan, I would like to report to you that equality may be there, but there is another area where men are really struggling. That brings me to another question which was put across, but I request you use less than 2 minutes to clarify about this. The question is, how does substance abuse impact men's relationship with their partners, children, and other family members? And why do you think men are more prone to substance abuse than women?
Thank you once again. And this is a pregnant question. And given the time you are allocating to it, it may not yield the pregnant. So, I believe the factors that have led to this is, one, family stressing, if I can term it generally. Family stressing. One, I would like to zero that to a wife and husband. I earlier hinted about a girlfriend stressing a boyfriend. You have taken me out for pizza. I would like to take some cocktail. Bring it to newly married, or even the other one who goes. So when you get born out of wedlock, born by a mother who is not in the family, you find you're getting stressed by that stepmom. Even when the semester ends, you say, I'm now going back. Those sisters of mine don't like me. That stepmom doesn't like me at all. What do? I go down here in Kiswahili, find a friend, we be there. The thoughts of belonging will not cease. You will still recall that you have a home in Shema, in Rukunjiri, anywhere. But because of that stepmom and the children, your siblings, that do not want you at home, you end up staging here. You have nothing to do. You have nothing to eat that is sensible. And for you to get out of that trauma, that stress, you'll be introduced to drugs. So, in that stress at home, from where we come from to where we are, either it pushes us from our homes or deters us from going back home. And these are the people that you will find around. Some of them will actually be coming from rich families, but because the mother that is not there is not the biological mom, they will not go there. To cut that stress, that trauma, they will end up in drugs. I mean, reasons are very many, cutting across. The peer pressure. You find friends here. You came from Katukuru, down there. Chanamka in Masaka. You came here, then you found niggers here, and you said, oh, we are niggers. Oh, yeah. You start with Shisha at Soho, at Shooters. It graduates. You are now on Oris. You get? Now Oris is not enough, because now you started with one, you're on a pact. Now they give you I hear those terms, Kajani, Ambassador. You started with one bottle of beer, and you end up with 10. You're abusing drugs. I mean, there are very many examples of drugs. And you're abusing them as long as you feel you're addicted, that you will not take a day without smoking marijuana. Peer pressure. You started with a friend. You didn't know even how it tastes. You get? You want to fit in the society. There are very many reasons. A friend will tell you, you see, for us we burn the midnight candle. For us we read for winter. That's how we pass. For us to pass, for the cold air not to pass through you, get this musogoto and you do the... Those are the reasons. There are quite many. Quite many. They are the few that I can highlight. But you can overcome when you realize yourself. When you get back to your dream. You can. You can. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's clap for the speaker. Mr. Ivan, thank you for the insights you've given us. We are really time bad, and let's conclude with our keynote speaker. Let him answer some few questions. Then we go for an open session, which will be as short as possible. And then we call it a day. So I call upon His Excellency Sigire Adonia to help us understand the few questions which were put across by the students. Being that you have extensive experience in leadership and you are a really passionate individual about the boy child and really making it in life, and you are very informed about how we can transform the society and we ourselves. Students were interested in how can men contribute to the emotional well-being of their partners without feeling that they are fixers or the solution providers? Because men tend to be giving always the solution that always they want to fix. Yeah, if at all you could help us give some light in like 2 minutes.
Thank you so much. Now, you get us to relationships. And I think it is a core bit of what we are at this stage. Is there anyone without a relationship at this stage or has never been in any relationship? We call Reverend Father or Bishop to pray for you. We all know what relationships are. And he asks a pertinent question. I don't know why I was picked to talk about relationships, yet I have my elders here. But in a relationship where you feel you are a fixer, I feel that relationship is not going to work out at the end of the day. You know fixing things, eh? There is that emoji where you're trying to bring bricks together, but at the end of the day, they all fall. You try to convince this girl, you try to do all things as a man, but they cannot work out. But you think this is the girl that you want. You're fixing things, they are not going to work out. In my understanding of a relationship is that the two people are together. In a relationship, you compromise. When you are a man, you're not a kingmaker in a relationship. She's a different nature or person. You are a different person. The two of you must understand each other to live together. Where you feel that you are the authority and overall in a relationship, that even when you feel like you want to sleep with her, it's when she has to accept you are fixing things, it will not work out. Okay, can I be more straight? That when you feel you have that urge for her, it is when she must accept and she has no option. It is not going to work out that way. And so a relationship is where these two people come together and understand each other. Now, when it gets the emotional beat, I think that emotions are the biggest percentage of a relationship. That emotions are not seen physically. I can be your buddy. She can be his friend. He can be his friend. But she will not understand the emotional beat. That means that one person whom you have selected out of the thousands of people in this university or outside there, you want this person to understand you emotionally. They will understand how you feel even when you're sad or happy, or even when you are at your worst case scenario, they are the people to understand you. So if this person is not understanding you or you're not understanding them, you are fixing life. And the moment you're fixing, you've ever seen prostitutes? You've ever seen them or heard about them? A prostitute can entertain a man at any moment. Don't ask me if she's ready or not. I don't know. That means a prostitute fixes life. I don't want to say when you fix, you are one. No, I didn't say that. You're not. But you need to understand each other emotionally. And so you compromise with your natural self to let in that person to yourself. You're not a god in that relationship. She's not a god. That you will do away with, and she also has a bad thing she will do away with to accommodate you. I don't know whether I'm clear. And so as a gentleman in a relationship, you must understand that girl. You must understand yourself, that you must do away with some things to understand and bring her on board. For example, you are a boy who doesn't normally want to go to church, but you love this church girl. Maybe you like taking 2-3 beers a week. of I don't know what kind of beer. Now, if you feel she's the best girl you want, you must compromise and start reducing the beers you're taking such that she will have to see the best version of you. You will not turn back. And so you compromise with yourself to accommodate. If she's a girl who wants to do outings and clubbing and you're not the nature, but you feel when you come together and you do out with one of those characteristics, you're going to make the best couple, she will have to drop that characteristic to accommodate you. And so understanding emotions, this, for example, she has failed a test, maybe she has gotten a loss in her business, you are there to understand how do I reignite her emotions so that she will feel that, okay, making a loss is normal, and I will take her up and she will feel I'm the best person that I can make her lose that stress. And so you must understand your emotions and her emotions. Secondly or lastly, gentlemen, this is a very key thing in your relationship. Men have a tendency of thinking that their opinion is a must-do for a girl, and a girl's opinion remains an opinion to a man. Am I lying? That your opinion to a girl is a must-do. That if this is what you want, it's a must-do for them. They are also human beings, as you are. And so you must understand them, that they can also have a feel and a touch of emotions. Most of them are weak emotionally. And so she has accommodated you to help her reignite herself. Don't be a kingmaker in that relationship. No. Balance the boat. Raise her, she will raise you. One man was saying that women are the biggest producers in the world. I mean, leave her in a home, she will make a home. But a man will think of things that are not developmental. Lastly, as I sum up, I think I don't have any other question. Please ask it and I finish in a short.
Yeah, thank you. According to your insights you've put across, there is a question which really resonates with what you are talking about. And students wanted to know that how can men and boys better understand and respect personal boundaries in relationships, both for themselves and their partners?
Personal boundaries. Now, I think I don't want to be bad, but men, you must have boundaries if you're to be a sober man. What do I mean by boundaries? You are as handsome as you are. Every girl chooses to crush on you in your class, and so you let them in. Your respect as a man is not derived from... my senior. Good evening, sir. Your respect as a man is not derived from how many girls crush on you, how many girls you've slept with. The best respect is derived from how that girl sees value in you. Value is not in bed. So only girl has clapped. Okay, can I mention also this? We might be in relationships, 90%. Let's be true to ourselves. How many are in a relationship? Or you've ever been in a relationship? Or you are in a relationship, or you're thinking. Now, this is my understanding. One, relationships are personal. Please don't play movies in your relationships that I want to have like his relationship. No. Build your own relationship. Now, how do I guide? That in your relationship as a man, if you feel the bottom line of a relationship, you must have a bottom line. Ask yourself, why am I dating this girl? Someone will tell you, I'm dating to have fun. I will say it is okay, but it's not right. Fun up to when? Huh? Fun up to when? I had a friend who shifted from where he was staying and stayed in town. Namubuuza, why did you shift? You know what he told me? Guy, kinkufuna kashuwa ndeba kuzomu kanahari. So I decided to be in here. Na ndiya mulimu nkafuna kashuwa, I go and come back. I was like, man. Till when are you going to have the shures? Okay, now basing on the reason as why you're dating, I don't subscribe to, personally, I don't subscribe to every time you feel like you want sex, you must get sex. I don't subscribe to that. As a man, have one thing you will keep wanting in a girl that maybe if you're dating for marriage, the better, that I will have full of her even after marriage. We have few girls here. A man who respects a girl sexually is the best man according to them. But if you find a girl who accommodates you, akakubuza ngai tugende ryari, please run for your life. Please run for your life. A girl who intakes you every other moment, even akwisha kakujira guy, plan it. It's been 1 week. 1 week. Please run for your life. But you must have boundaries, respect sexuality. It is not that every time you will erect, you will release. Few men will mention that. I don't want to rewind. I don't want to rewind. Anyway, long story short, as I finalize, in relationships, play your relationship your own way. Be the man you want to be for that girl, and please don't play girls. If the girl plays you, leave her. And please, my prayer would be that that relationship you are in now ends in marriage. Yes, then why are you in it right now? If you cannot wish it to be in marriage, why are you in it right now? If God said that the person you are having now is your future wife, would you go with her? My goodness, then why? Run for your life. Guys, you mean you're not dating for marriage? If they said the person you have now, okay, let me not say the persons because you might have 7 and you're married 7 now. The person you're having now is going to be your future wife. With her values, with the dimensions we talked about, would you go with her? Then you look for a reasonable wife. And please keep the boundaries, respect her sexuality, she will respect you. Anywhere else, it is okay. It is the best version of the man. If women can wish to be with you, but they cannot have you, and you can be the best version of the man in your society. Thank you so much.
Who has learned something? I know you are shy. Okay, I'm going to give an opportunity, the last opportunity, not actually the last, but for the panel, to Dr. Imelda, and we request her to give a comment she wanted to make, and then you can also help us tell us on how young men can cultivate the habit of saving, avoiding overspending, and how they can prioritize the needs over the wants. Because you realize that men usually find themselves overdoing certain things. A few in the crowd may even be putting ladies on the budget. So how can we cultivate such behaviors? You're most welcome.
Moderator, you allow me to give the second question to a gentleman. because I don't know what men spend on. But my parting shot, I have created a safe space for young men. They actually call me and we discuss and talk. And I have discovered that actually young men are angry at their fathers. Very angry at dad. Why doesn't daddy care? The message I want to share with you is that you are in the next, if not now, in the next 2 years, you are going to be dads. So I would like to request you to actually stop being angry at your fathers, to actually understand that it is not their fault. A lot of things have been beyond their control because of the change in the society, the change in the environment, the economy, very many reasons. I would like to ask on their behalf for forgiveness. Forgive your dads, move on, become better dads. That is my parting shot.
Thank you very much. Who has forgiven the father? Okay, there is a question which I put across. I don't know whether there is any man who is ready to answer that. You see, men tend to fail to prioritize their needs over the wants, and they tend to overspend, and we are looking for ways of how they can cultivate the habit of saving so that the future becomes better.
A habit of saving. It's a problem, but it's a habit. Apparently, I am developing a habit myself that if the modulator demands me, let's say, 5,000, okay, 10, and I have had a gig of 30, and my needs are for 50, and I get the 30, before I spend, I will have to send him a 10,000, regardless of how much my needs are. But I have his debt of 10,000. I first, because it's not my money. Even if I keep with it, now if I keep with it, he will have a bad attitude on me. But if I do with it and I keep suffering, it is safer than keeping a debt with him. So it is a habit. The same applies to saving. I believe saving is a habit that you cultivate deliberately. I will re-echo that. Intentionally and deliberately. Saving is not friendly because you're hurting yourself. Like a 10K, you would have gone for a Rolex at Shooters. You're saying, okay, 10K, please rest. But for how long? You get blocked, but you remember 10K, and you cannot get it because you're hitting a certain target. And so it is a habit that is unnecessary. It is a very necessary evil that you have to cultivate within yourself. It's like waking up for morning prep for the arts students. I'm an arts student. It's a necessary evil. You feel you don't have a lot of content to read, but you have to wake up. So saving is that before you spend, please first put something aside, not saving the balance. Have what you've earned, put aside that you feel it is habitual for you to save, and please try to forget. Now let me tell you, if you don't develop it as a habit, what will come out is that even when you have grown up and you're old, you have bought a piece of land and you've run broke, you will say, but I'm broke. Let me go and sell that land so that I have instant money. You will never develop. So it is a habit that is hurting self-discipline, hurting personally, but you have to do it because you're having a certain target for yourself, even for your near future. Me, I have different ways of saving. if I want a good shirt or a good suit, I will start paying for it months before. I don't pick it, but I remember I'm wasting money, but for something I will get in the near future. That's something material. Then if I don't manage saving, I will tell my friend, please, I will use your account to keep my money. And I trust her, she cannot eat it. Even if she eats it, she tells me, but in the meantime, she gets back that money. And because if it's on my account, I cannot go hungry. But if it's on her account and I don't have the card, I am sure that money will run for a long time when it is saved on her account. Yes. Yes, please have those friends. But don't trust me, please. Yes, that is what I can say about saving. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Let me even stand up. It's at this point that I realize that most of you were touching your stomachs and you were looking at me in a weird way. So I'm very happy that you've learned something. I've seen the heads going up and down when people are like, it's good. Eh? So at this point in time, I would like to request you to go for a second half. The first half is here. I haven't finished mine. The second half is outside there. Make sure that you do the best. I'm going to request the panelists that we are going outside here for the campfire, where we're going to open the discussion to the participants. Please be an active audience. Raise up that question. Don't feel shy. We are men. Eh? You see, there is a TikTok which I usually watch, which was spoiling me that the guy was like, why should a man pretend as if they don't want something, yet they want it? So instead of pretending, stand up and do it. Do we have men in the house right now? Okay, let's go out slowly to the campfire. Take a seat. Please carry your seat if at all you had one. Carry your seat if you had one. First put my fork here. Are we all sorted? There is someone asking me that people are eating, have they prayed? If you haven't received food, please put up the hand so that we can identify as early as possible. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like us to open the Q&A session to whoever had a question to our panelists to put it across so that we can learn from you and learn from the panelist who is around. Anyone with a question? Standing, you should just put up the hand and I approach you. Don't ask me why you didn't receive.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Akanyayo Arthur, doing Bachelor's of Information Technology from Chumro in year 1. The paper and zing of the audience, thank you for coming on this show. From the discussion that was led by our panelists, I think it was from Dr. Imelda, was talking about how man correlates with a woman, maybe in a setup of a family. But the thing is one, if we are saying men we have left our laws, my worry is if someone goes to a boarding section in within, I think by 1 year, you're already in a boarding section. How will you be able to come with a search? Because if we are talking about the boy in this transformed man, we have to see the man in 8 years in a traditional setup and the man today. Are we correlating? That should be the question. I think during that time, men could gather like this and we discuss our own concerns, which is not the case now. So how shall we now come on table and say, I have to live as a man? 2, we shall see the role of woman in the upbringing of children. So we have the problem with injections from women. We can verify us, we have families we come from. You find in a family, your mother tells you how bad is your father. Do you see this man? Do you see your dad? He's a bad person. So you find we have that habit. That's why the question that was posed, every person was scared of raising the hand because he knows he was brought by his mother that a man is generally a bad person. So if women cannot adhere to the rules, because of course in that line we also having the work experience, men always take a lot of time at work. I think if we address these issues, women, I think they are the first step that are destroying the families. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Do you know why you think they are destroying the family? Gentlemen, do you know why you think they are destroying the family? Because in a lane of empowerment, they have been better empowered than you. And so in their mode of empowerment, you feel they are disastrous. But now the time is now where a man must be taught how to deal or handle an empowered woman. Sorry. I don't know whether you get me now. A man must be taught, we must learn. We ourselves must learn how to deal and handle with or deal and handle an empowered woman. Because right now, if it is maybe class level, women are 3 classes ahead of us. We are maybe in P3, they are in P7 because they are highly empowered. And for us, we are just living on amagezi gacu banje. Ekikuru n'amagara. Now we must learn how to deal with an empowered woman. And it goes to the question of what kind of woman do you want your child, what kind of woman do you want your mother, your children to be mothers to? What kind of woman would you want to mother your kids? It's a big question. We don't give it attention. It's not a matter of having kids. It's what I was telling you. It is a question of how or why are you dating? We go to your first question. Attention and time, that kids are in boarding section here and there. But now, even when you say that there is no time, how do our fathers deal with us when we go back during holidays? Do they give us attention? Nari hijo muntu arikugira ati omwana wamubonera karumo narisho omwana wawe tumwinire for example holiday studies nakutera omungaro narakugira konkanisha shiro mushore eche chumuro chona mutanteganisa. You understand? That's how now they are saying, to reduce the disturbance, they are paying omushoro for the kids to watch. But instead of saying, now since they have come for holiday, can we give them more time? Now our advocacy or our argument and discussion should be, how do we give our kids that we haven't gotten more time when they come from school, their busy schedules, and nurture them, not run away from them? And secondly, or lastly, about your question, how have you thought about who is going to be a mother to your kids? It is the biggest point in this lane. Because yari yechifa mutuma shuwara abana bawe tokaja nibakuzira amagezi. Ya najumirana, don't think that your kids will not abuse you as their father. So you must think about nohora benyina wabana banje. I think that's, when you think about it, you go back to Emekago Yoine and you saw to whom you can be your good wife. Thank you.
Thank you, our speaker. I'm going to be by the asking questions, random questions. I can meet you and be like, what have you done? So be somehow attentive. Anyone with a question? Another question? Or you can say something.
Okay, many thanks indeed for the opportunity. I'm also trying to answer his question. Number one thing to acknowledge is that we are living in a different time. And it is no longer seeing it as a zero sum. In other words, when women gain, men lose. When men lose, women gain. That's not a way to look at it. Because currently, you might even get a wife who earns more than you do. But that does not cut you short of being a man in the house. So you really have to be the man. And what I'm talking about, you could even support your wife. And the best thing you can be for your children is to be the best husband to their mother. I don't know whether you get it. Because they are the ones who bridge the gap between you and the children. So really, I don't see the times being different being a problem. I think it is a problem of us not adapting. So you have to be supportive. You have to be the best husband. Because even if a woman is working, even if she's way higher than you, still she needs that support. And I've seen many of them break down. So yeah, you really come in, you be the man, even for the woman whom you think is earning her. This is not a zero sum, if I may put it. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. I hope you can remain with the microphone, because it's going to be moving around there. There is a gentleman who had a question, but as you get the microphone to speak, make sure that you are audible enough, because this side we can't be able to hear you very well.
All right, thank you very much. I want to thank the panelists. For today's service. Now, to me, first of all, I'm someone who respects everyone, someone who knows how to do all the chores. But then, the question I was having previously in the past years, we were this kind of generation which is kind of fighting for the girl child education. I'm not comparing, but according to the current affairs right now. Now, these are the girls we've been fighting for. These are the girls now who are the leading components, you know, having sugar daddies, doing what, being known for everything. You get? And now, this is kind of relating with now the boy child whereby you find the boy child is having some good friends. Maybe they can be from well-off families or wherever they're getting the money from, and he's having these friends. He doesn't want to lose them, so he gets this plug of sugar mommy WhatsApp groups. You get? So, and you find that he's really not good enough to control himself from that, and he's really chasing the money. So besides the advice of saying, boy child, you must chase your dream, you must do what, behind the scenes he's having a dream of living a good life at campus. Maybe he wants an iPhone 13. So that is it. Now he finds it he finds it very penetrable to head there and then kind of bit chill this kind of future dream thing. So I don't know what you talk about that.
Good evening, everyone. Yeah, I think getting back to your thing, there is something they call self-discovery.
We request that you increase on your volume. I can't hear you from this side, kindly.
There is something called self-discovery. You as an individual, what do you want in life? I think many of us, none of us is still young, right? Did any one of us go to a class and then they were taught about sex? It is a natural thing. Thank you. I think for some of you, it was during that time when you were, in that moment that you learned about the different things, you discovered it yourself. You get? Now you're saying you want an iPhone, but at the end of the day, the iPhone is what you want. But the means you're going to use to get the iPhone, are they the right means you're going to use to get the iPhone? If you think doing wrong to get the iPhone is okay, please find your way. If you die, no fear shona nyuku. You get? If you get to the right way of getting, because at the end of the day, getting an iPhone, so what? You have the iPhone, so what? You're living the good life that you want to live. Yes, you have attained satisfaction and you have attained happiness because you're living the good life you want to live. If you attain it the way you think is good, well and good. If you attain it the way that you know that is actually bad, because he talked about having sugar mummies. I mean, at your age, you have a sugar mummy. You think it is good? That is your thing. Because, for us, we are different from animals because we have the knowledge to differentiate between what is wrong and right. By the time you go for that sugar mummy, you know that it is not right. So why are you actually doing something that you already know is not right? You get?
Thank you very much. I would like to hear something from the gentleman himself.
Thank you so much. I think now the female perspective, she's right. But I would want to add that I won't call it cheapening ourselves. But I would just mention this, that you live for once. You live for once and automatically die. When you die, you don't have we don't have a spare for you. And what I can say is, or to guide you, even when you get those circles that you are in, at the back of your mind, gentlemen, I think the youngest here might be 23, 22, 21. At 21, I want to say this. you must have known your goals in life. If you're here and you're still a mediocre, can I mention that you are mistaken? At 21, you must have defined. Maybe I'm the one who has a challenge, but you must have set a pace of saying, where do I want to see myself in 10 years? You're finishing school in 2, 3, 4 years. Then finishing school, what next? We expect you to move out of your father's house. Where are you going? Are you going into a sugar mommy's home? She's there, she's ready to house you. Then what? I think at this moment, we do not need to babysit and sugarcoat. And it is in senior too, when you tell people, please put on the condom, please protect yourself, please deter, please. No, at this moment, you must define yourself. If you've not yet defined what you want to be in the next 10 years, go at your bed tonight and think, I'm doing this course. It is getting done. It is not automatic that I will get a job. What is the nature of my circles? Who describes me? And what is my purpose in life? When you describe yourself in that way, you will have softened and simplified your direction of living. Thank you.
Thank you very much. This is the last opportunity. Who is having, he has taken it. This is the last question. We shall have some talk from the Minister of Gender who organized this, and we shall also hear from the Vice Guild President, and we call it a day. Thank you.
Thank you very much, our moderators. First of all, I would like to thank the organizers for this event. It's such a beautiful one. I just have basically 2 questions. The first one is, what's the appropriate age for marriage for us boys? What do you think is the ideal? And it's not only going to the panelists, but I think I want an open discussion. Let people give me their views of what they think is the right age for them to get married. Then too, we have gone through high school, we're at campus now, and at high school, we dated, relationships ended. They used to tell us, the teachers used to tell us, please, dating here is wasting time, but we still did it anyway. And yeah, the girlfriends and boyfriends ended after we left. We separated at senior 4, we got others in senior 6, we separated at senior 6, we came to campus, we are dating again. So my question is, what is your view about dating at campus? Do you think actually someone should concentrate on their books at campus, just like in senior 6 is nothing, or they're actually here, they are mature and grown up and they can get something from their relationships? Thank you very much.
Do you expect a disappointing answer? But guys, let's be clear on this. What's the right age of getting married? Whenever you feel ready. So long as you're above. Some people are at 17 and get married and manage. Now, if you're 18 plus and you feel you're ready, please go. Music in the background. If you feel you're 18 plus and ready, please go and get married. If you feel you need time, it is on you. It's a personal decision. There is no equation that when I get married earlier, I will maybe sort myself of very many challenges. Or when I get married late, then it has this repercussion. No, it is an individual personal decision. My take is, personally, I want to marry earlier. Why? Because my calculation is simple. At 20, when my kid is joining campus, I really want to be energetic. And by the fact that I'm 24, if my kid is to get 20 years, case in point, if I am 28 or 30, and plus 20, those are 50. I can really go to campus and see how my kid is. but your kid is at campus, you're 68, you've left work, you're resigning. That is my calculation. Someone can feel that I want first get wealthy and then marry. It is a personal decision. What was your question? Dating. Dating still is a personal decision and a personal choice. Now, when you're ready, I know I have a friend, when you have the capacity to, if you have the capacity to go to someone's home and talk about yourself, not on the street, I respect a man who has gone to someone's family, talked about himself and gotten the girl, but not finding the girl on the street and start staying with them in hostel. No, that's not readiness. I think I'm clear. When you're ready to go into someone's home and get the girl, you know what it means by getting the girl. At 25, at 26, I can have capacity too. We are from different backgrounds. Dating at campus. I don't want to disappoint you and give you my personal story because I might mislead someone. Someone will tell you, please don't get disorganized and start dating at campus. You wait after campus. But someone tells you, if it was not this relationship, I would not have managed campus. Someone else tells you, man, I have faced these relationships, but I feel they have nurtured me still. My personal story is different. I might have been in a relationship and I am better where I am because of that relationship. But it goes back to where we started from. What are the values of the relationship? Why are you dating? I personally started dating because I want to marry that girl. That was year one. And it's my first relationship. And it is still standing. We've done a course for 4 years. And I take over Helen. and I don't want to disappoint you. I can count the number of times. Anyway, those are the details, but you can decide. You can decide to set a pace for yourself. I don't know how many times you will decide that girl to sleep at your place. But if you want to lose that relationship earlier, the more you sleep with her, the more it loses meaning. I will re-echo that. Now, it is a straight answer to him. The more you sleep with that girl, the more you'll find I no longer have a reason to stay with her because I know everything about her. No. That perspective now becomes when you do not trust her and she doesn't trust you. That when I don't sleep with you, they will sleep with you. If you don't trust her, she will not trust you, and so she will have trust in other people. Now, dating is personal. I want to conclude. Dating is personal. But the dating I am talking about is the dating with a purpose. Dating with a purpose. Guys, dating is not waste of time. Getting your feelings to be in someone and you're sure I am with this person for 6 months, it's a contract, it's campus sex and what, you're wasting time. That's my understanding. People have different. And so that's why I asked, if God said the person you're dating right now would be your wife, do you accept? And the question is, why wouldn't you accept? Then run out of that relationship and look for the person you feel can be your wife. And my thinking is, I have to nurture. She has to see my weakness. I have to see her weakness. I have to sort her problems. She has to sort my problems. Where I am bad, she will tell me and put myself right. Where she's bad, I will tell her. Like that lineage of growing together. By the time we say we can go, we know that we have shaped ourselves. I will not marry a girl who has been shaped by another man. Perhaps that's to a minimal consideration. I will not marry a girl who has been shaped by another man. That's my decision, but you can have your own decision. Yes, I am not sure, but At least for 4 years, I can ascertain that I've seen her flaws, she has seen mine. My bad side she has seen, I've seen her bad side. I can tolerate some things, she can tolerate some things. And that is the compromise we are talking about. It's a personal decision. Another motivational speaker will tell you, please don't date at campus. It is a waste of time. Where will you date? At workplace? It's still a waste of time. Thank you.
Thank you very much, our speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, let's clap for the speakers for having given us that. Ladies and gentlemen, this event it didn't appear just the way things just appear. It was an entire process which consisted of ups and downs, and I really feel happy that we have made it up to this point. But before we conclude, I would like to invite a special lady who has manually engineered this event, and she has been able to put up a successful and the first event ever Master has ever seen. Ladies and gentlemen, let's clap for Honorable Kovomans Marianita, who is the Minister of Gender, as she comes to talk to us. You're most welcome, madam.
Thank you so much, our moderator. Once again, my name is Kovomans Marianita, the 36th Minister of Gender, Mbara University of Science and Technology. First and foremost, I want to thank the Almighty God for really having enabled us to reach up to here. Let's thank Him. Then another thing, I take the special appreciation to our keynote speaker, His Excellency Sigire Adonia. Thank you so much for honoring my invitation. And the panelists who have left, in the absentia of our Deputy Dean, Madam Maureen Kahima, and then Byabagambi George, in his absentia, though he delegated someone. We thank you a lot for the delegation. Then I also continue to thank the entire community in Mbara University. Thank you so much. Then I also take the opportunity to recognize the Honorable Minister, MOOPS, Makerere University Business School, Mbara, Honorable Shanita. You're welcome. Thank you for honoring my invitation. Also, the Minister of Finance, MOOPS, Honorable Minister Christopher, you're welcome. Thank you for honoring my invitation. And another Honorable MOOPS, Honorable Moses, thank you for honoring my invitation. Yeah, I really appreciate the friendship of our sisterhood universities. Thank you for always standing up. Yeah, and we shall always be there for you. Then another thing, how did I come about this? It's because there has been a lot of pressure on the boy child. I feel like, me personally, the two events I've had, they were mainly about the girl child. And I said, really, why? Why are we leaving the girl child? Yet, as we consider the traditional culture, yes, before the man was more empowered than the girl, but due to differences in technology, we have more empowered the girl child and the boy child has been left behind. So that's how I thought, really, we should have a boys' talk. Yes, and here we are. So I really appreciate you a lot. For where things have not gone well, my apologies. Yeah, because the rain really disrupted us. Yeah, true. Then I also want to extend my sincere appreciation to the people that really partnered with the Ministry of Gender, that is Must Peer Project. Thank you so much. And also Live a Dream. Thank you so much for honoring our invitation and partnering with Mbara University. We are really honored and grateful. Then I want to thank the serving team, the beautiful ladies you have seen around, and the gentlemen that have been providing refreshments and everything. Thank you so much. Yeah, and then the coordinator, Edgar Kaheru, where are you? Thank you so much for coordinating the event very well. Yeah, thank you so much, because really we have tried our best and we hope there will be a difference out of this. We do this to make sure that we ensure this does not to stop here, but also to go and take action. What have you learned according to the challenges that have been discussed and the solution? Have you picked something? That's the main thing. And we hope for a positive change in our community. With all this, we are looking onto ensuring gender equality for all, not only for girls, not only for boys, but to ensure gender equality for both genders, both girls and boys. Yeah, then I think a lot has been discussed about finances, about relationships, and everything. So the university lawyer was also supposed to be with us, but suddenly he didn't. And he shared with me some video that I want you people. You can see this lady.
And is this a full rent? Money comes from it. Yes. Contribute rent? Yes. I should go for a job. Don't mind. You know where I get the money from? Rent. You know where I get the money from?
Yeah, so this is the generation we are in. I translate. You see, she's beautiful and young. But the way she's replying to the husband, it's like she's the man in the house, and which is not true. So I feel this has, I feel because we have been more empowered, we feel we have all the responsibility, and we fail to know where our lines do stop and where we have to, end. So this comes back to us. Which person are you dating? Yes. Which person are you dating? Yeah, because you see, at times, yes, everyone wants a cute girl, but is she of your level? That's very important. No. Because that's where you will reach. She was going for an outing, and the man was inside the room. She had done her makeup, everything, that dress. She's looking hot, leaving the husband and going for an outing. And she's like, do you know where I get finances from? Do you know where I get money to buy clothes, to do my makeup? So at times it really comes back to us. Yeah, so that's the advice I can really give to you. Let us know the people to date. Because you may, you bump into someone that you really can't really manage. And to us young boys, I really encourage us to start dating from the level we are. When you go to working class, you find ladies are already taken. They have already decided. Yeah, so that's it all. Otherwise, I thank you so much. Thank you for bearing with us. Thank you for your time. Thank you for being here. And we hope for a positive change in our community. Otherwise, I remain Commas Marianita, Minister of Gender. Succeed we. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Commas Marianita. But I would like to take the microphone back to you so that you can welcome the Vice Guild President to have a few words to us. A few.
Okay, I take the opportunity to welcome our Vice Guild President. You're mostly welcome.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister Marianita. I'm very graced by this event. It has been really a very wonderful one. I think everyone has been transformed. The theme today was a transformed man. Are we transformed men? Are we?
Aye.
Oftentimes, the values or the needs of a man are masked by the woman emancipation, and we don't usually get to listen to men. But today, it's been a very different, transformative event, and I believe that everyone is transformed. I would like to pass on appreciations to the panelists. Adonia, His Excellency Adonia, thank you very much for today. You gave really a very great speech, and your dedication is an inspiration to all of us. We had Dr. Imelda. She really gave us a transformative speech, and I think everyone has gained something from it. Your dedication is really indelible, the panelists, and I really appreciate that. We have had the people that managed and came up with this event, Honorable Marianita, Right Honorable Prime Minister, sir. I think now you know the Honorable of the month. Yeah. Thank you very much, Marianita. It has been a very great event, and we are really graced and blessed with your preparations. To the panelists, thank you very much for this sagacious advice. Everyone, I believe that the men here, you have learned something, and as the theme goes, you have been transformed. I learned a few things. I would call them values from what the panelists said, all of them, what they said. The first was to pursue. We are born, we live, and we die. But we have to pursue something in our lives, and as men, you have to have something that you look up to, and you pursue it to achieve it. So I urge all of us to pursue something in our lives. His Excellency Adonia was talking about, I had him hit the nail hard about values. Values, men. We have to have values to be the great men that we are supposed to be. Values are very important. Being professional is one of my personal core values that I would like to pass on to all of us. We should all be professional at professionalism, masculinity. If you are the man, a masculine man, empathy is part of it. Oftentimes people neglect the fact that gratitude, you have to have gratitude in everything that you do. Gratitude is a must. So guys, we have to have, enjoy the small you have, and Yeah. The biggest factor that all of us need to have is humility. And on top of humility, it is God. God, God, God. We are all here because of the gift of life, and we shouldn't take that for granted. You wouldn't be here, you wouldn't have come to campus, you wouldn't do everything that you're doing right now if you weren't alive. So the gift of life is a very great one, and you have to be grateful to that and to God. A great speaker called Toffler said, the illiterate of the future will not be the ones who cannot read and write, but the ones who can't learn, unlearn, and relearn. Everything that the speakers have talked about was very important, and we ought to pick a leaf and incorporate all of this in our daily lives to get us better. So one of the values is learn. Please learn in everything that you do. Dr. Imelda talked about building competences. I urge all of us to be a polymath. A polymath is a person with skills. You wouldn't be important in any way if you don't have skills added to everything that you are learning right now at campus. On top of your lives, you need to add skills. So, guys, build competences. I would end this with, I'll pick a leaf from what His Excellency Adonia said, and end with saying that you need to build a brand. People will always give you responsibilities according to how you brand yourself. If you brand yourself as a person who is irresponsible, who doesn't take anything that serious, you will always be taken that unserious. So build a brand in everything that you do and sell this brand out to get you better positions and everything that you would like to achieve in your lives. To conclude, I would like to thank all of you, and to the panelists, our guests from the different universities, MOOBs. You have dedicated your time, and it is not taken for granted. You have been here from around 8. It's now clocking midnight. Your dedication is inspirational to me, and I think to every one of us. To the keynote speakers, the panelists, you have given us words of wisdom. And as the theme goes for today, a transformative man, I personally have been transformed. I don't know for you. I hope you have also been transformed. To everyone else, thank you for coming. Thank you for attending this event. And may God bless you all.
Thank you, His Excellency. Not even His Excellency, Your Excellency. Sawanya Andrew. I'd like to